Kia ora. What greater experience can one have than to experience God, to experience the Almighty? What can top that, eh? What greater purpose could one have other than that? And that's what today's video is about. There's a few steps that must happen first. Number one is, in order to experience God, to access that sacred frequency, first of all, your heart must be pure and true. What does that mean? It means you can't go to God like most people do for your goals. You can't do that. You can't go to God to fix up your life situation like most people. They pray to God because the only reason they're praying is, God, please help me with this or with that. You can't go to God for that. Your motives must be pure. It's very rare, but it's so beautiful when there's a man or woman who goes to God for God. They go to God for the love of God, for their love of God, not for something that they want. So you have to be at that point where you have such a deep longing for God that you want to know God, not to get your goals, not to fix yourself up, not to save you in the next life sort of thing. You can't go to God for that. So your motive must be pure. Secondly, you have to purify yourself through the 16 sacred disciplines, right? The 16 sacred rituals. When I say purify yourself, what I mean is the frequency required is you must become unbreakable 100%. And until you're there, you won't be able to access that sacred frequency, the God frequency. You will not be able to experience God. So you must get yourself to a point with the 16 sacred rituals or disciplines that you're 100% unbreakable, and that each of these are done in a energy of sacredness. Then you'll be ready for this step that I'm going to share today. And so finally, the next step is this one, is contemplation. It's a spiritual exercise. And so when you go deep into a holy thought, such as what is God, when you go deep and you answer all the questions, you go deep enough, what will happen is you'll run out of answers, and at some stage it'll just be stillness. Pardon me, no thoughts, just stillness, and then there'll be a click or release. And that click, that release, becomes your experience that God is here. God is always here right now, but that you've accessed God. That's what it is. So what does it look like? So contemplation starts off with a question such as this: what is God? And you focus maybe on one answer, maybe the first answer you get, such as, I don't know, God is love, right? But how do you know that? Like, how do you know that God is love? And so now you have to go deep into it, like really deep. It can't be a surface answer. You have to keep going and going until you got no more answers, such as, well, how I personally, Steve, know that God is love is because from God I came. So God is the giver of life, and also God is the sustainer of life. He keeps me alive, right? So that is pure unconditional love. Regardless of what I do, God still sustains me. And God also, to God I return. To my Creator I return. It's that unconditional love that no matter what I do, I will never be disconnected from God. How beautiful is that? A love that's so pure that it cannot be broken. God will never reject me. God cannot reject me, for I am God in form. So that is how I know of God's love. I could spend another half an hour probably talking about God's love as an example. Another one is God is life. How do I know this? Because everywhere I look. So therefore, everywhere I look, it's God. It's fascinating, right? Everywhere I look is actually God. So do I see God, or do I see the form? Also, if everywhere I look is life, and everywhere I look is God, so everything is shouting God. So every one of my goals is actually something physical, right, or some experience. It must be God. Ultimately, my ultimate goal is God and form, or God. It's so beautiful when you see it. So these things you can, these questions you can ask. What is God? And to stay on one topic, such as God is love, or God is life, or God is energy, or God is law. That's a really good one, And we can talk about this and discuss it. But stay on one topic and go really deep, and don't settle for the first answer. And don't settle for the first few answers. Allow your mind to go deep. This is how you start to exercise it. The deeper you go, what will happen is, so just parking the car. What will happen in this spiritual exercise is you'll actually shift your perception, which is the whole goal of it. So as an example, when I say God is life and everything I see is life, what started to happen was I stopped experiencing other people, and I stopped experiencing how they were acting, and I started experiencing God as that person behind that person's eyes. I started to experience God organizing each person. I could feel God's hand moving this person into my world. And that's because I started contemplating so deeply. I started to think deeply, so I started to perceive things out here differently. So as you go deep and deep into your contemplation and you journal, you write about it, the deeper you go, the quicker you'll end up getting to that point where this stillness will arise, this peace, where thoughts will stop. And then you'll start to experience something so profound, so sacred. And that is God's presence. It's in the Bible it says that they'll descend upon you a peace beyond understanding. So it's sort of like that. It is beyond words, it's beyond description. It's like this. You feel one with everything. And if you wonder, well, you will 1000% know that God is on the field, that you are in tune in that frequency. You will definitely know. This is the most profound, trippy experience that you'll ever have. May your motives be pure and true. May you do the work with the sacred rituals, the disciplines to purify yourself and become unbreakable. And finally, may you take the contemplation seriously to go deep inside. This is a exercise to go into the depth of you. May you do the contemplation until you find God. And if God is what you truly, truly seek and long for, you will do this exercise and you will find God. Kia ora.